Now she shows her true colours. Suppose she lands. Did you convey my friendly greetings to Mary Stuart? Tell her how I rejoice at her safe return from France?
Most ardently, Your Majesty.
Ardently? I begin to understand you now.
And if she refuses, all her power can show no more strength in oppressing me, then I can summon to resist it. Cecil, this is intolerable. The Queen is never powerless. For example, I had no desire to play, but Your Majesty commanded me. Never mind, child. It's only a game, and I love to songs. Tired of it. Do something. Sing, play.
No, Mr. Mums, it's important.
We are here to study Caesar's conquest.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about, his conquest of her. Of course, she fell in love with him the moment she saw him. But how was a girl of her age able to...
Anyone can walk, but can you walk with a train?
Yes.
All right, head up. Go on. Good. Don't look around. Go on. It'll follow you like a kitten's tail.
As your future husband.
If he comes on those terms, he had best not come at all.
Your Highness!
He said he wished to come here. I have never invited him. I have never said I would marry him. I have never said I would marry anyone. Never!
Your Majesty!
Enough! No, I accept them with no less joy than your loves can have desire to offer such a present, and do more esteem it than any treasure or riches. For those we know how to prize. But loyalty, love, and thanks, I count them invaluable. And though God has raised me high, yet this I account the glory of my crown, that I have reigned with your loves. Stand up.
Queen of Scots is lighter of a fair son, and I am but barren stock.
Vous connaître avec obéissance de mon loyal devoir.
Each of you must vote according to your conscience. But remember this. In your hands, upon this moment, lies the future happiness of my people and the peace of this realm. Observe, Lord Burleigh. I am married to England.
And?
And I love poetry above all.
Above Lord of Essex. My lord, when you cannot find your wife, you better look for her at the playhouse. Playwrights teach us nothing about love. They make it pretty, they make it comical, or they make it lust. They cannot make something of a woman in a man's profession. Yes, by God, I do know about that. That is enough from you.
One in shadows glowed, despite her lack of gold. The other in the sun looked verily so glum.
Enough! You dare compare yourself to your sister. You put yourself ahead of Mary for the throne.
That is not what I meant, Father.
Go. Until you know your place, you are banished from this court.
Catherine Parr is safe. Edward is still the heir. I have survived all kinds of plots against myself and others. I never once betrayed my own nature. I have earned your respect and love, Father, and given it back to you tenfold.
But if it be his will, I continue to live outside the state of marriage. I tell you, I would rather be turned out of the realm in my petticoats than defy him. It is England I married, my lords. It shall be sufficient for me, when I die, that a marble headstone declares that this queen, having lived for such and such a time, lived and died a virgin.
Mortua non mordet.
We two were milkmaids with pails upon our arms, and this matter was just between us. Even knowing she had sought my death, I would never consent to hers. But as I carry the burden of my nation's welfare, I must demand her...
Housewife to her husband, I'm loath to beg. But we do need subsidy. And what is it for? It is not that we plan for war. It is the fighting of wars long gone, and the failure of the harvests that eat away at England. Not that war will ever go away, gentlemen. Nor will the Spanish.
She said that you loved me!
I ever loved you well, and ever did you service, but I no longer recognize the thing I loved. Love alters when it alteration finds.
You said you could never...
I said more than I should, perhaps. The government of the tongue is not a science you ever learned well, my lord.
I fear neither him, nor his priests, nor his armies. Tell him if he wants to shake his little fist at us, we're ready to give him such a bite he'll wish he'd kept his hands in his pockets.
You see a leaf fall, and you think you know which way the wind blows. There is a wind coming, madam. That will sweep away your pride.
I too can command the wind, sir! I have a hurricane in me that will strip Spain bare if you dare to try me!
Which is likely, or the plague, which is almost inevitable. Then you will be happy.
Votre Majesté. Ça va?
Ça va bien, ma petite. Viens ici. Attention.
Sweet prince.
Yes, he is.
And he's our brother.
The king has waited a long time for a son.
But he still loves us.
A boy is more important, Elizabeth.
I don't think so.
Your Majesty, I am honoured to be presented to you and wish you every joy and happiness.
It is also an honour for me to meet you, Lady Elizabeth. You are a very pretty young lady.
Thank you, madam.
I want to give you these. They are not of much value, but will remind you of me.
Oh, Your Majesty is very generous. I will always cherish it. Your Majesty.
But you too can look after your brother.
Yes, Your Majesty. I promise.
Bless you, child. Bless you.
It's no easy feat.
You sunk 2 Spanish warships, while our English sails billowed in the wind for all to see.
The Spanish attacked first.
As if that matters now. Do you have any idea what you've done? Could you be so short-sighted? King Philip has always desired England, and now he has grounds for war.
And Scotland united at last, ending the bloodshed between our 2 countries and fulfilling your mother's dream. Or you could save her, but she will rot for decades more in captivity, because I cannot have her blood on my hands. And I cannot let her go.
Grant her succession. We are rewarding her disobedience.
What disobedience? She is not our subject.
And yet you would make us hers.
What have you produced in all your travels between our kingdoms? Discord? War? Death? And now you have the boldness to doubt my judgment. You had better question yours. I will kneel before you if I must. It would make no difference. You are safe here in England.
Elizabeth is such an icon that there's a lot of pieces